In case you missed it, your host Kayla Blakesley is at it again. What did she say this time? Tune in to find out right now.
Joining us live this morning, as he usually does every Wednesday at this time, we've got Senator Jim Banks. Good morning, Senator.
Hey, good morning, Kayla. Good to be with you.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here because earlier this week, you actually chaired a Senate hearing on how artificial intelligence is reshaping America's workforce. And I just really appreciated that this wasn't one of those doom and gloom hearings where everybody says AI is evil and it's coming for everyone's jobs. So first and foremost, I just wanted to say that to you. But it sounded obviously a lot more nuanced than just, AI is bad. So after, you chaired that hearing, I would just be curious to hear some of your biggest takeaways for everyday Hoosiers.
Well, it was a very bipartisan hearing. It was constructive. It was a good conversation. I think the big takeaway, we had researchers from Indiana University. We had the top workforce development official in Indianapolis, and then we had experts from around the country testify. And obviously, AI is going to change our economy, but one of the big takeaways, Kayla, is that the trades are going to be more important than ever. And you talk to high school kids today. I mean, I have nephews in high school, and I have daughters in high school, and you talk about the skills-based economy and what that will mean in the AI economy. There are going to be a lot of opportunities for young people who develop special skills who are going to do very well in this changing economy. So we heard a lot about that and the types of skills and jobs that are out there that employers are looking for. I think the good news is that AI hasn't wiped out mass jobs. I mean, that just hasn't happened. Mm-hmm. But it is going to change the way that our economy looks and how it works. And there's a lot at stake here. But if we prepare for it, America can win. And Indiana is well positioned for all of it because of our manufacturing base and the trades, the skilled trades that we have in our state that are very strong. And if we continue to invest there and build upon that, I think Indiana is going to do as well as anywhere else in the country.
I felt like that was one of my big takeaways from the hearing, Senator, is that, AI is changing jobs more than eliminating them. And that's kind of why I felt like there was actually this positive undertone to this conversation. You did specifically question, Indiana workforce leaders. On the flip side, though, in terms of industries here in Indiana, do you think there are some that are going to see some bigger changes over the next 5 to 10 years? Some of those jobs that aren't within the trades?
Well, I think you're going to see the white-collar economy change more significantly, but the opportunities are going to be with the skilled trades. So if you talk to a young person today, encourage them to look at going in, become an electrician or a lot of the engineering jobs, and we have such great schools in Indiana. I think I go up to Trine University all the time and see what they're doing to train these young people for these types of jobs. So I think there's going to be great opportunities. It's going to be, in a lot of places, maybe that we don't even think about right now. But with the manufacturing economy, how is that going to adapt to build robots and the technologies of the future? I'm focused on the defense industry, and artificial intelligence and autonomy is changing a lot of our defense equipment. We're building a lot of things at places like L3Harris and a lot of these great companies that we already have that are going to flourish and grow and create really good paying jobs for young people. So the colleges have to change too. I mean, it's going to be a lot less political science degrees like I have and a lot more technical degrees that provide the types of skills that these kids need to succeed. And that's a big part of this conversation that we had in the committee hearing last week, too.
Yeah, you also introduced what's called the AI Workforce Prepare Act. In plain English, can you share with us what that would actually do?
Well, what we think is that the way the federal government collects a lot of this data is not. It doesn't clearly show us the real picture of what's happening in the economy. So, working with the Department of Labor to totally reshape how they collect the the data about how artificial intelligence is changing the economy. That's what my bill would do. It's bipartisan. It would give us a better look at what's happening, and I think that's important for employers and these workforce development officials and local communities as they adapt. And I think about my hometown, Columbia City, and the types of businesses that we're attracting. Ultra Electronics that makes sonobuoys in Columbia City. Well, they're growing, but what's that going to look like in 3 or 5 or 10 years? And how can the federal government work with Indiana and Whitley County to help a business like Ultra Electronics attract the type of talent that they need? That's what my legislation would do. And frankly, a lot of these solutions are going to come from the local level, not the federal level. But the Department of Labor has to modernize and adapt and collect the right type of information to be able to do that.
Man, well, I think it's a fascinating conversation. And like I said, enjoyed a lot of the dialogue during that hearing. Really quick before I let you go, I kind of ask you about something that's kind of been making me do a double take because in fact, I had to read the story multiple times, but there's this whole debate out of New York right now over these government run grocery stores. And there's talk of customer cards, what's kind of being described as like a library card that you need to have before you can buy food in these grocery stores. And naturally, I'm reading this and I'm like, wait a minute. So we can have a conversation about having an ID to buy food, but not to vote. I mean, am I the only one scratching my head over this one, Senator?
No, the hypocrisy is really rich in all of this. I mean, I'm in D.C. this week. We're trying to pass the Save America Act to require voter ID at the ballot box. The Democrats are blocking it. But then you have the socialist mayor of New York, Mamdani, who is creating these government-run grocery stores. Now, that's a whole story in and of itself. I mean, think about what these socialist, communist Democrats want to turn America into. They want government-run grocery stores, but then to say you have to present an ID to be able to buy the groceries, yet they're against presenting IDs at the ballot box, and the hypocrisy is really rich.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that one, so I knew I couldn't be the only one scratching my head. Senator, you like me, can't really make much sense of that one. How about we check back in with you 1 week from today?
Have a good day.
Hey, it's KB. As a show of appreciation for listening, use my promo code WOWO for deep discounts on all kinds of products at MyPillow.com. That's promo code WOWO.
Podcasts by Federated Media.